Okay, hold still. Poof! Nope, I can't make you one, but I can teach you how to draw one. Start off by turning your paper the horizontal way, and we're going to start off sketching things out, which just means drawing lightly. So I'm going to sketch out where the main part of the engine, this is actually the boiler, this is a steam engine. So this is the part that would be full of water and that would heat up and create the steam that is needed for the train to move. Okay, and then the cab here where the engineer rides. So this is a rectangle shape, as you noticed, and then it's going horizontal, and we're going to make a rectangle now that is going vertical. Okay, and this is the basic structure of our train. Now I want you to do it light because we're going to be overlapping some of this, covering up parts of it, and so some parts will be erased and some parts will darken in. Let's go ahead and start out here towards the front. There is a lamp out in the front so that the operator can see when they're driving the train at night. So we make a rectangle that's vertical this way. And then out at the front of that, there's kind of a little shield here that helps direct the light a little bit. So I make a line out and it slants down to the bottom just like this. Now the train we're drawing today, this is just based on several different older type locomotives that would have been made back in the 1860s. And also maybe even some toy models that are very similar to the real thing. Now, but it's not based on any specific one specific train. Next I'm going to have a smokestack here, and we'll put a rectangle that's tall, very tall, the horizontal, vertical. Tall is vertical. So it's very tall that way, and then we'll come down and put a line across like here and we're going to make a horizontal rectangle this direction. Make it come out a little farther on this side, I guess. You could use a ruler for all these things, but and that's fine if you want to do that. I'm not using one today because I'm wanting to move along a little quicker. It takes longer if you use a ruler. It may look nicer that way, but I think I can do this today without one, so that's why I'm doing it. So here's our long box here, our rectangle that's horizontal, and we can erase inside of that. Now that doesn't look like a smokestack, but we're not done yet. That's why it doesn't. Okay, next I'm going to slant a line down from this corner to there. Then I want to slant down from this corner to there. Then I'm going to make a longer slant here and a longer line that slants in here. Now, instead of erasing these inside parts here, I'm just going to shade over them with my pencil. I'm going to make them darker. You can use crayon or colored pencil to color this in later if you don't want to do the shading it in right now. If you'd rather do that with crayon or colored pencil or even marker, that would be fine. But for now I'm going to darken these areas in. Okay, so that's our smokestack. I'm just darkening the lines on the outside edge because everything is where I want it to be, so I'm making these lines darker now so you can see them better. Okay, now I want to divide the boiler, or this section right here, into 3 separate places. And the way I'm going to do that is to there's a band, a decorative band that goes down I'm going to put 2 lines here, and then come over here and put 2 more lines. And I've tried to equal it out so it's about the same width here and here and here. If they're not exactly the same, that's okay. Just I think it looks nicer if you can get them pretty close to being the same. Okay, I'm going to leave this area and go back here for a little bit. I want to put a roof up here on top. It's going to stick out past the front just a little bit, and then it's going to go out past the back a lot more. And this would cover them just a little bit if they stepped out of the back of the engine here. But this is the roof of the cab. And for mine, I'm going to shade this in. You might make this a different color. There you go. Then I want to make a window that the engineer can look out of. A lot of times they were not able to see in front of them because of all the things that were on the engine itself and the smokestack, so they had to look out the side window to see either in front or behind them, because they couldn't see behind them very well either because of all the railroad cars that were attached to the train. So this is their only way to look and see if anything's on the track or anything's crossing the track. Okay, so there's a window. I'm going to make a second line around the inside just to kind of frame it. Okay, and then let's come down here and we're going to make a line where the railroad track is. Just going to put a line that goes all the way across. Now, maybe I should use a ruler for this part. I want to have a straight track here, so I'm going to put a line across. You can try without one, but I'm afraid I'm going to make it too crooked if I don't. So there's my railroad track. And I'm not going to put a lot of detail to the track today. I might make a second line here. That might be good, though, for the rail. Because the emphasis of this drawing is, the main thing we're looking at today is the train itself, train engine. The trains, at the time that you first saw them in the United States, it made it a lot faster way to travel than traveling by horse or by buggy, or especially by walking. It's a lot faster than that. And so this became it was a new mode of transportation and a new way to get across country in a shorter amount of time. Let's go ahead and let's start with the front part here. I'm going to put what's called the cow catcher. And it's this metal piece that's out of the front of the train. The trains traveled fast, but they could slow down, and if there's something on the track, this would allow them to kind of nudge it off the track, push it off the track. If there was some kind of animal on the track, they could push it out of the way. So this was called a cow catcher. Okay, so this kind of a shape, and then it's kind of like a grate or a grill here, so I'm going to put some spaces in between these bars here. Okay, something like that. And then right immediately behind that, I'm going to put our first wheel. I'm just drawing it freehand. If you have something about the right size you want to trace, that's fine. Another one right next to it. And then I'm going to make 2 larger wheels. One here, and then one next to that. And the bottom of the wheel is resting on the rail itself. I want to make the front ones about the same size and the back ones about the same size. I'm just going round and around until I get a nice circle that I like. Okay, in the middle of these wheels we're going to have, actually before we do that, let's do the spokes of the wheels. So I'm going to make a line that goes straight up and down. I think I'll do that on all these, right down the center. And we don't have to worry about trying to erase what's behind these, because this kind of a wheel you can see through the slats here. I'm going to make a line that's horizontal right across the middle of each of these. Okay, and then I'm going to make an X. Now you can make more than this, but this is going to be good for what we're doing. So I'm going to make an X across the center of each of these. Okay, now I can go back and erase the centers and put a circle, replace the middle with the circle there. Start back over here. Circle, 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 circle. Okay. Now above these wheels here, I'm going to add, I believe this is called a piston. I'm not sure. This is the part though that the engine itself, the mechanism in here, is going to make the wheels go. Okay, so there's a rod that comes out of this, and we're going to just attach it to right here on the wheel. 2 lines. And it would have a motion where it moves this in and out, and as it does, it makes the wheel, pushes the wheel around, it turns the wheel. And then I'm going to put another one down here that goes from this wheel to the other. So it's kind of a dual drive here. It's going to make both wheels go. The energy this puts out going around is going to make both of these wheels go. And I believe, let's see, actually it should be on the same side. I'm going to make it go from the left side of this one to the left side of this one. So I'm going to make some adjustments here. Go all the way across. Now, of course, if you just want to do the wheels, you don't have to do these bars here and this. You could just do the wheels, and that will look enough like the real thing. But that's okay. You don't have to go to this extra detail if you don't like to. Now, let's go ahead and do out front. There's a piece that sticks out like this, like a rectangle. And then I'm going to darken in all these areas here, because that's where I want them to be. Now I can make this a different color. I'm going to lightly shade it. I don't want it as dark as the smokestack, but I'm going to shade it in. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and make this line darker too. And I want to shade in the boiler part here of the engine. And then make these lines, and we'll redraw these lines darker for these bands that go around the engine, and also this right here. Okay, out front I want to make a bell. This would have a rope that goes to the cabin, goes to the cab where the engineer is. He could pull this bell to ring to let everybody know they're moving. Kind of a warning signal. Also, at some point, engines had whistles, and they still have whistles today, or horns today. And this would probably have a rope that goes here to the cab somehow. Okay, and then 2 more pieces here. I'm going to make, let's see, start off by making a long rectangle shape here, and one here that's longer. And then on top of those, there's like a dome kind of a shape. And this part also, there's different styles of this part. This all has to do with the engine itself. Okay, we're almost finished. Can darken in these tires a little bit. These wheels. Guess they're not tires, they're wheels. Darken the outside and the inside. It goes behind there. Behind there is also. Okay, and then I want to darken this line here on the back. One more area, I want to put kind of a decorative plate here. I'm going to put a rectangle. And inside that I want to put another rectangle. And I think I'm going to put like a bump on either end, and one in the middle, and one on top. And I'm going to put, you can put your initials or name or a number in there, what's the name of the engine. I'm just going to put my initials. I'm going to put T, W, M. You could put number 9 or number 5, or you could put your initials. That'll be the name of this train, whatever you put in that box. Darken this line for the rope across everything. Probably would go in the front. I'm going to say it goes in the front. Go ahead and clean up your drawing. Add color if you'd like to. And that's how I draw a train. If you have an idea of something you'd like me to teach you how to draw, just send me an email with that idea and I'll do my best to teach you. No copyrighted characters or material, please.